I want you to do something radical. I want you to walk away. I want you to stop. I want you to practice stopping at the end of it. You are listening to the Decluttering Club Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Mueller, and it's my mission to equip women to declutter their homes, their time, and their lives so that they can cherish what truly matters. Welcome to the Decluttering Club Podcast, episode number 2. Today, we're going to talk about the question that I get probably the most often, which is, where should you start decluttering? Where do you like to start? Well, I have an answer, but actually I have 2 answers. Okay, so people ask me this all the time. And what it tells me when someone is saying, where should I start decluttering, is that they think that there is a right answer to this question. And then there's also a wrong answer. Like, where's the right place to declutter? Because I want to do it right. That's what people are saying. And here's what I want to tell you. There is no perfect place to start decluttering. And it is so common for people to, let's say, start in one place. And then they get a little distracted, or maybe it gets a little tough. And they're like, no, maybe I should go over here, right? And they bounce around to the next place. And before you know it, they've started 10 different projects. And they have completed 0. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. There's no right place to declutter, and there's also no wrong place to declutter. But what is important is that you start decluttering. That is the most important part, and where you do it isn't really that significant, because as you do this work and as you get into it, you're going to build some skills. You're going to gain some confidence. You're going to gain some momentum, especially if you use the tools that I have available for you. Okay, so it's like practice. It doesn't really matter like specifically where you focus, because you're going to gain these skills no matter what, as long as you keep going. Okay, but I do have an answer. If you're like, yes, but just tell me what to do. Okay, I do have an answer for you. So my answer is, you start in the kitchen. If you're not sure where to start, you're going to start in the kitchen. Now, why are you going to start in the kitchen? You're going to start in the kitchen for a number of reasons. There's so many easy things to declutter in your kitchen. And the messier kitchen is, the easier the better this is going to go, because you're going to find so many quick wins. Okay? I promise you, you may think you know what's in all of those cupboards and drawers and piles and, behind closed doors. You think you know what's in there, but I'm telling you, you don't. And you're going to be so surprised when you dig in there and take a look. And I want you to make sure that you stay in curiosity. Because you might open a drawer or, dig through a cupboard and think, oh my goodness, how did this happen? And you may also think, what is wrong with me that I don't even know what's in my kitchen cupboards? Or how did I let it become this bad? And I don't want you to go there. Okay? This is so common. We just don't know what we have behind closed doors. We forget. I forget. You forget. It doesn't mean anything about you. It just means you're a human being. Okay? So make sure you stay in curiosity when you are doing this. Now, why should you declutter the kitchen? Besides quick wins, there is a tremendous ripple effect that happens when you declutter in the kitchen. You clear out a little bit of space, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you're enjoying your kitchen more. You're thinking, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe you clear off your counter, and then you discover, oh my gosh, I can actually cook dinner here tonight. This is not that bad. And maybe you've been hating on your kitchen, but you clean it up a little bit, you make a little space, you let some things go, and all of a sudden you're cooking at home more. Maybe you're eating better. Maybe you're just enjoying the dinner hour, dare I say. It is possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen every night, but it is possible that you can enjoy that. Your cleanup is going to be easier. Right? It just goes on and on and on. You're probably going to save money on groceries. And people don't believe me when I tell them this, but I'm like, every single time. You could save hundreds of dollars on groceries if your kitchen is pleasant and there's room to work. You're going to save money by not wasting food. You're going to buy food, and then you're going to actually be able to cook it and eat it, most of it. Again, no promises. We're not going for perfection here, but it's going to be that much easier to use the food that you buy. In addition, you're going to be less tempted to just throw up your hands and say, who cares? Let's just go get takeout or let's go out to eat. Right? Now, I'm not saying you should stop going out to eat or getting takeout, but when you do it, I want you to do it on purpose and not because the kitchen is such a pain in the butt and then you can't bear to think of cooking there. Okay? So you're going to save money, wasted food, takeout. It's just going to be that much more pleasant to cook it. And when you work in the kitchen, again, you're going to build up these habits that are going to follow you through the rest of your house. And the kitchen is a busy place for most people. And it's a place that it's going to need a lot of work, right? It needs regular upkeep. So if you make some space in the kitchen, if you get rid of some stuff that's in the way, remember, we're getting rid of things so that we have room for what matters. So we're going to get rid of that stuff that you're stepping over and that is taking up valuable real estate so that you have room for the things that you want in your kitchen. Okay, so when you do this, now all of a sudden just things get easier and you're still going to have to do the regular upkeep. We call that kitchen zero, and we'll talk about that in a future episode. But the kitchen is just a place that does need regular, concerted attention. And so I love starting in the kitchen. Now, when I started my decluttering journey, I can't remember, I'm pretty sure I did start in the kitchen. And I just went space by space, right? I like to call this targets, like set a target. So a target could be your baking supplies. A target could be the pots and pans drawer. It could be the spices. It could be, the left side of the fridge, right? You pick your target. And I went, like one section at a time. And I literally just asked myself, is there a good reason to let this thing go, right? One item at a time. Is there a reason to let this thing go? Do I have multiples? Is this broken? Do I use this? Maybe you've got like stuff in there. Maybe you've got utensils or, that extra can opener that you really don't like, but it's like the backup can opener. Well, let's let that go. Let's get a can opener that works and that we enjoy. All right, you're going to find duplicates. You're going to find stuff that you didn't know was there, and you're going to find things that you do not like, right? Those can all leave your house, and you're going to free up so much space. You're also going to come across things like I call them space hogs. So this is like all of those kind of small appliances, and you may have particular appliances that you love. Maybe you use your slow cooker once a week. You're like, I'm all in, I love it. Or the juicer, or, the fancy mandolin, or whatever it is, right? You're going to have those. But you may also find items that you purchased because you thought you were going to love them, and turns out you don't. And they're taking up a whole lot of room. We want to get those out of the kitchen. You can free up tons of space when you just look for those things and then deal with them one at a time. Okay, so you're just asking yourself, is there a good reason to let this go? Right? And then you're getting it out of the house. Okay, so what is the decluttering process? In a nutshell, this is how we do the decluttering process here at the Decluttering Club. First of all, is you pick your target. Again, you decide where you're going to work. And I don't want you to say, I'm working in the kitchen. That is too big. And the more overwhelmed you are, the more I want you to zoom in and focus in on a very small target. Okay, so you're going to maybe you're working in the utensil drawer. Maybe you say, I'm going to spend 10 minutes, or I'm going to find 10 things in this drawer to get rid of, right? So you pick your target. Then I want you to set a timer, okay? We love to work in 10-minute sessions. Why 10 minutes? Because everybody can find 10 minutes. And your brain might say to you, oh my God, this is like so overwhelming and so frustrating. And, and you just don't want to get started. Well, you can ask yourself, well, can I just do 10 minutes? And frequently the answer is yes. Okay, fine. Right? Okay, I can do 10 minutes. So set your timer for 10 minutes and then you're going to get to work. And basically you're going to sort. So maybe you're working in this drawer again, and you're going to sort, and you're going to say, okay, this thing is going to go in the keep pile, and this thing is going to be decluttered. And you're just going to go one item at a time. Do I keep it or not? And then with the things that you do not want to keep, you want to decide, what do I do with them? Maybe you put them in a donation box. Maybe they go right in the trash. Maybe you want to give them away. Just decide that and sort and continue on until the timer rings. Right? And then I want you to do something radical. I want you to walk away. I want you to stop. Okay. I want you to practice stopping at the end of a 10-minute session. Now, why do we do this? So often people think they need to dedicate 2, 3, 4 hours. They need to dedicate the weekend or the next month to decluttering. And that feels so miserable and terrible, and nobody wants to do that. So you put that off and you put that off, and before you know it, you've been putting it off for a decade. And this doesn't serve you. So I want you to practice doing this 10 minutes at a time. Because when you know all I have to do is 10 minutes, then guess what? You're going to be willing to do 10 minutes. And then you're going to be willing to come back later and do 10 more minutes. And before you know it, you've racked up the hours, but only a little bit at a time, right? This is not about a huge, massive push to get something done that burns you out and makes it so you never want to do this again and you need, months to recover. That doesn't serve you. This is about taking the baby steps forward and making progress. And who cares if it takes a month to get through 2 hours of decluttering? You still got it done. And then maybe the next month you'll get through 4. This will add up faster than you think. The other thing I want you to do is when the timer rings, I want you to clean up. We call this finishing. So I don't want you to just walk away from, the drawer that is the contents are all over the counter. I want you to put everything back. And if that means that you put some things back that you haven't sorted yet, no problem. You still found things to get rid of, right? But you do want to clean up. You want to take out the trash. You want to take out the recycling. You want to, maybe you want to clean out that drawer real quick, give it a quick wipe. But you want to finish. You want to walk away, dedicate 2 minutes to finishing up before you move on to something else. Okay. And now this is something that you may need to practice. This is a skill that you can build and develop over time, but this will serve you really, really well. And I don't care if you start and finish 10-minute sessions, twice a day for the next 3 months. This will serve you so well. In addition, using a 10-minute session is really helpful if you find that you're very distractible, or maybe you have kids and they need you. You can say, hey, I'm working until the timer rings. I'll be right with you, right? It will really help you stay on track. Okay, so we would love the 10-minute session, especially when you're starting. And that's what we're talking about today, is getting started. So that is where you should start in a nutshell, right? Start in the kitchen. Give it a try, see how it goes, see how much you can get rid of. I promise you, you will probably surprise yourself and you're going to feel so good when you do. Okay. When you are ready, we would love to have you join us in the Organize My Home membership. We have all the tools and support and advice to help you organize your entire home and your life. Okay. So come on over to our website and check that out when you get a chance. That's what I have for you today. I want to encourage you to embrace less stuff, more life. Take care, everyone. See you next time. That's all we have for you today. If you enjoyed this podcast, would you leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts? It would really help us get the word out. To start your decluttering journey, go to thedeclutteringclub.com/start. That's declutteringclub.com/start.